Everyone will stand for the pledges.
I pledge to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Let us pray. Our Father, thank you for allowing us to come together today. We just ask your wisdom as we make decisions for the county employees and for the county citizens. We just ask all of your guidance today. We also ask for continued prayers for the flood victims and the first responders who are there, as well as our own first responders who are taking care of us every day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Public comments? Nope. Nobody signed it? Okay. All right, and on to the consent agenda. Anyone have anything on the consent agenda or anything they need to pull off or? Then do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, on the regular agenda, the first item is to consider and or approve salvage of the Sheriff's Department 2024 Ford Explorer or disposing of the vehicle with tag. Sheriff, did you get any info?
Got all of the IAA for the salvage bids. They said they were gonna send me something official as far as their bid for it. Never got it. The code part, they kept sending me to place in Bronzeville. They have not called me back on the part. So
We basically have nothing,
the two that we got from the tag document.
right?
So IAA said they're still gonna send me something, and they said it would be close to the $12,000. They said I can't dig it apart. I think tag said they were gonna offer like 4,500.
Yeah,
A little more.
I think it was 5,000.
Yeah.
The salvage value is 5,000.
You want to wait or what?
I would still, I mean, we could wait till, and I can see if I can get it, because
We
we
could-
could talk about double the price on that, but
Quite a
I
bit.
can't get them to give me an official quote on that.
We could approve the salvage amount contingent on him, like,
Don't know exactly how to do it though.
Get more than what,
what's that, we could
more
approve
than the
5,000,
5,000.
and if he gets the quote that's higher, we could just approve that.
Once it's approved, I need it sent it to tax to let them know. So if you're for sure gonna keep the vehicle, then they need to know, so they don't arrange for somebody to come pick it up.
Right.
Does it hurt anything just to wait till our next meeting? Maybe you'll
I
have
don't
that.
think so. It's really kind of,
Yeah,
I'm
I'll let
interested
Virginia
in
know
it.
that y'all are gonna talk about it today. But I can just let him know that y'all are waiting for some information.
Yeah,
the only thing
I
that I did with the vehicle is to keep the holding cost for where it was stored before it's moving it to the sheriff's office and keeping there, so I don't have to pay. So,
yeah.
I didn't look at the document last time for this, but was there an agent from TAC that had their name, like the inspector, like a specific person on that?
Stephen
when they-
Sanchez.
Even as the claims examiner.
Did their claim adjuster, I think, did
I
it.
saw that he signed. I didn't know if we had I don't know if we can call them because it sounds like they have a direct line to those I don't know how they got the
They
pricing.
need a contact.
If they could get, right,
Well, they use a third party that did the actual loss condition report. That was through this. A lot, I mean,
because they got a quote somehow pretty quick,
I know.
unless it's.
And we can't even get them to call us back.
Yeah, so
You're also waiting on the co-part. We had on it too, so.
the Copart, every time you, especially the number that they had on there. So it shows an Emerald number, but it always sends you on this. And so then you give them the information out on the sheet. with the VIN number, and I said, well, we don't have anything, in our computer system showing anything to that amount of the salvage. So then they tried to send me to Amarillo and it transferred actually.
Looks like the appraiser was a Daniel Mansell with this alacrity. It is the adjuster. Stephen is the tax representative, but the adjusters through this third party.
Did he have his number on there? Cause he got a quick number.
Well, there's a
Call back or
number
something.
for this alacrity solutions.
I could try it now.
Knows where that will send you.
I would suggest we table this until next meeting.
That's what I say, because that he's trying to do the best job for them.
I
Yeah.
don't, it's not hurting anything to wait till the next meeting.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It's not holding him up on this.
Yeah,
Anything.
I agree, especially if we're gonna get twice as much out of it.
Is there a local salvage yard in Borger that would?
No, I did not, reach out to any of our
I don't
towing
think so.
companies. Those are the only ones that hold vehicles carries. To, auction or not auction, they take them to the, metal places and get what they can. Copart, they actually have a lot in Amarillo, but as far as their offices, everything came around.
Just drop it right at
Putting all
the
the
gate,
vehicles in
and I
store.
bet we'll get a call really quick.
Yeah.
Or they can't open the gate.
Perhaps.
Do I hear a motion at the table?
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 2 is to consider and or approve adding the county vehicles to the Sheriff's Department Samsara Fleet Management Contract. So Leisha and I had a discussion about just putting all of our vehicles, county-owned vehicles onto the GPS tracking. And it would help Leisha out a lot as far as fuel calculations, because it does that for us. As part of the program. Isn't that what you gathered from that?
Yeah, it provides, information on, fuel usage so that we can compare like credit card fuel purchases with the actual usage for the equipment and the vehicles. I think Jerry said it even provides like idle time and, all kinds of different information. It also provides, whether there's any codes that are thrown on the vehicle so that we can, get something repaired before it becomes a big issue. It just provides a lot of great information that I think would be beneficial, not only to how the equipment's being used, but also the maintenance side of it too. Make sure that everything's being maintained properly and routinely, I guess.
I think you could do that on the regular vehicles and cars, pickups, trucks, equipment. Not so sure you'll get that on there, but,
There's a different type of
well, they have their own.
device.
The equipment manufacturers do their own.
Oh.
You have to pay them for that service.
Right, but this would also do that. It's just something that you would run into the thing. So since we don't have that paid subscription with CAP or with whoever, we don't have access to that information. So that would be something that could go through Samsara, get us the same information so that we know.
And there's 2 different ones, right? There's the one for just like the heavy equipment that's a little less.
Yes.
And then the one for like routine vehicles that are on the road all the time.
Have we seen the pricing of what the manufacturer would
I-
of this, but I'm talking about like with
I don't know.
heavy equipment.
I don't know. I have no
There's two
idea.
Different packages. I'd like to
Right.
see the pricing of that if we're gonna do that.
Because currently we're not utilizing that CAT or whoever, or John Deere, or whoever it is provides, right?
They were, I don't know if they are now or not, but they were.
Oh, so it was part of the vehicle?
Just on heavy equipment,
Uh-huh,
Not truck.
right, yeah.
but that's a paid service after you go out of warranty. So I don't know if it's still paying it or not.
Oh,
We're, to my knowledge, we're not paying it, right?
Sure, out of warranty, might not be.
And the
Should
power,
be, but I mean, it should be nice to have, but
the
you gotta
power
monitor.
sets would be $168 a year for each one that we put the device on. And then the vehicles are $234 a year for each one.
regardless.
So if we put
it's-
everything that we've got on our asset list, if we did all the vehicles that the county owns and all of the loaders, graders, all that good stuff, it would be $12,624 approximately a year.
Regardless, even if you, it'd be good to have the trucks and the vehicles on there, even if you can't.
this says 12,759. This says 12,759.
What
This,
the quote, oh,
yeah,
that was based off of that, I think that added in I think there was like a service.
oh, a shipping, well,
Yeah,
no, not shipping.
shipping.
Yeah, shipping and handling. Yeah, you're right.
This also had a higher price. You said 168 for the power one, like this says 173.40, and then 234 for the vehicles. So that's.
Yeah,
part of
and
it.
that's just the, based on whenever we did the phone call, she gave us a rough estimate. That's what I came up with, and I haven't looked at the quote yet. But you're looking at about $13,000 a year.
And that includes the sheriff's department, right?
No.
So this is added on to what the sheriff's department is paying.
I need it. Well, I haven't put that quote in.
It says it's been drafted on the same Sourcewell contract, which you'll see noted. 25% discount has been applied, which brings the annual total to 12,759. Or maybe that's just us.
Just say they can amend it,
Yes,
so it doesn't,
so then we just have one contract. Yeah.
I'm saying it doesn't say if it includes, have to go to that.
So who will be the contact? Because there'll only be one contact.
Well, how it works with Samsara is like with a lot of softwares, you have permissions. And so like the sheriff would have permission to view his fleet. Dwayne and would have, access to view his fleet. You can put different permissions on it, and then you
On
have
Different vehicles.
like the auditor may be able to view only everybody so that they can run reports and different things. So there's all kinds of permissions that you would be able to assign to different users so that they could keep track of their own stuff. I wouldn't be taking the stuff away from what the sheriff is able to do. He would still be able to do that stuff. All of the commissioners would be able to view the departments that are owned by are controlled, or I don't know what the word is, oversaw by the commission.
By the
They work for the court.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different roles that you can set up with different permissions.
That's how I have it set up now is I have it, there's several different categories. Administration, like Laura, she can look up all the units, and then she does do all the little fuel receipts now. So everything is, they take a picture of the fuel receipt, put in the miles and gallon, and everything is immediately uploaded into the system. So she's able to pull that up and run a report on that. And that's what she gets from Alicia every month. Or we have the fuel stuff now. So nothing's like actual paperwork, they're actually doing it in the vehicle. And she can see just that specific portion. When it comes to like GPS data as far as where the vehicles are, you can see all of that. But it's tiered through the permission side of it.
Yeah.
So my supervisors get to see GPS location. Obviously I do, but I don't give that to everybody.
And that's another positive thing about it is the digital receipts. So when they're not having to keep track of every receipt that they have, they can snap a picture of it, upload it into an app on the phone, and it's done. So if they lose that receipt, then we're not trying to recreate one or get a lost receipt affidavit or different things like that.
I'm all for it as long as it gets up and running and we use it and get the system perfected. I think it's a good idea.
I think it would provide us a lot of information. Be useful for, especially when we start budgeting and stuff.
It'll help a lot getting
Yeah.
information to find out what we need to know.
So we're talking October 1. To put this as a budgetary item for, effective October 1. Sheriff still got his going on.
Right.
Didn't they say that they could do a trial?
Yeah, I think they can. Yeah, they said they could give us a trial.
So that we can use it, say the last 2 or 3 months of this budget year and get familiar with it before we actually start.
Go live,
For it
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I did a 90-day trial just to test it out, see if it was going.
Yeah.
Well,
We just want the ability if some things can't be added, that it can be taken off without affecting the other stuff. Like heavy equipment stuff, some of the software is protected, you can't get access to it. So if that doesn't work, we can still add everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's based on vehicle. So if you decide, okay, we're gonna use these 5 vehicles,
Right.
but not.
And
this
that would
old
be-
one that just sits here all the time.
Right, you wouldn't.
That would be really helpful during that trial period, so we can kind of figure out what's working and what's not. And then if we need to take those vehicles off, then
Right.
we can do that.
Some things might not be
Yeah.
advantageous after all.
Yeah, they send me, they even have smaller tags that you can attach to like smaller pieces of equipment. They sent me a couple of trials with that. Couldn't really find the application working well for it, so just boxed them up, shipped them back.
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
Staff and do the steps instead of Health County.
Right, it's like an air tag on everybody.
Get the steps in.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
So, yeah, I move to approve adding other county vehicles to the sheriff's department Samsara fleet management contract.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 3 is to consider and or approve our per diem amounts for travel. Don't think we've really looked at this over the past few years, so I just wanted to look at this and see if we wanted to make some adjustments on the per diem. I attached our current per diem to the agenda, as well as the 2025 per diem rates for Texas. That standard rate is 16 for breakfast, 19 for lunch, 28 for dinner. And then they do an incidental, but we don't do that. I don't know what incidentals would be. But currently we're doing 10, 15, and 25. And I think most of the conversations that I've had is that people think the lunch is not enough, that depending on where you're at, and the conference is not providing lunch, then in some of the locations where our conferences are at, it's difficult to find a lunch for $15. So what are y'all's thoughts about raising those?
What do you recommend to raise it to?
Well, the standard rate, 16, 19, 28.
Yeah, because if you, I mean, you look at the rates for the cities we go to, like Austin and Galveston, all that, they're all higher than the standard rate, so it's still
Right.
still be beneficial for the employees, but not excessive.
I did take a little poll of some of my judge friends and a couple of them said they just use the standard rate. And that could change every year, but if we decide to leave it, that's fine. If we want to change it every year, once they put out a new rate, we can. We haven't changed our standard rate in a while.
Base the travel on the yearly rate, like the mileage
The
reimbursement.
mileage, yeah.
Kind of makes sense to revisit it every year, I think.
Yeah, sounds okay to me.
So y'all are okay with the standard rate?
Yeah.
All right, do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the per diem amounts for travel to the standard rate for Texas.
Okay, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Effective immediately? Or as of first of the year, or
To immediately.
I'm fine with now. Immediately. Do I need to say the actual rates or just?
yes.
Okay, so 16 for breakfast, 19 for lunch and 28 for dinner, according to the standard rate.
I'll second it.
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 4 is to consider and or approve opting into the Purdue Sackler opioid settlement. Sent this to Craig and he reviewed it and said opting in would be a good choice. It's a new one. Every time we turn around, there's another one. Sad to say, but. So do I hear a motion?
Move to approve opting in to the Purdue Sackler opiates settlement.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 5, consider and or approve any ARP grant projects, updates. I forgot to put updates on there. Updates. Anything?
The lights are for the outside parking is complete. They're finished. But that's all I got right now.
Good. Everything good at the library?
I think we're done. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, item 6, consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban.
Our KPI has been between 36 and 280. Currently, we're plus 12 last reading, so no change to the burn ban.
Okay. Item 7, consider and or approve request for use of the club rooms at the Border Library or Fridge.
Didn't have anything new. Why is it?
Why City Answer?
Oh.
I can read those.
I haven't
They
even.
text us this morning.
Okay, well, yeah, if you'll go ahead.
So for the Fridge Club Room, there's a baby shower August 2nd, a gender reveal August 9th, baby shower August 23rd. You need me to slow down?
I have it on tap.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
I realize that you were typing, so I don't want to go too quick. August 30th on retirement, not saying you're a slow. August 30th, there's a retirement party. So, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 9, consider and or approve average, item 8, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
I have just some line item transfers, one for the extensions, one for maintenance, and a couple for the county. And then I'm gonna throw this in here, back after the fires last year, we transferred $359,000 into the Hutchinson County Relief Fund, because we thought we were gonna need that to dispose of all the concrete. The donations that we received for debris removal covered everything that we've had to pay, so I would like to move that 359,000 back into the general,
And where'd it come from?
from the general fund.
Oh, okay, yes,
We thought it was gonna be like 300 and something thousand because
Right.
of the concrete, but they were able to have somebody.
right, it got
take care of
donated, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Outside of
Dwight
the
did that. He got
county.
donated, we got it hauled up.
And so I would just like to move that 359,000 back into the general fund.
Do we need a motion for that? Yeah, sure.
The transfer. So we've got the regular budget.
Right, right.
Transfers and then that additional.
Hey, do I hear a motion? To approve all of those transfers?
I move to approve the transfers and line item changes as presented along with the, did you say 359? 359,000 transferred back to the general fund.
Second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
And that will leave $18,000 remaining in the Hutchinson County Road funds.
Okay.
If any other expenses happen to come up, or I don't know what needs to be done.
I don't know anything, I don't know.
All right, item 9, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids. None. 10, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County.
Okay.
Ashley.
Give you all a copy. We have received a few donations at the museum. The first one we got from Crown Supply from Mr. and Mrs. Hudson in memory of Linda Bonnet. We also received a donation in memory of Gordon Pierce by his girlfriend, who's Eleanor Arthur's daughter. If you want to be an author, if you had her in school. And then we have a interesting donation from Dr. Chris Yonsu. The building that the museum is currently housed in, they were built in 1927 by Gus and John Yonsu. It was one of the first large structures in Boulder. The brothers had immigrated from Greece and they wanted to live the American dream. So eventually the building was used as a general store and a hotel upstairs. And then the building on the north side was just a complete hotel. Well, in 1976, Dr. Yonsu, which is who we got the donation from, he donated the building for the museum. He donated it to the Historical Commission. So he came to see the museum this summer. He was really impressed with all the projects we've got going on. He wanted really badly to come to the murder mystery dinner theater that we've got coming up in August. So, but he's not going to be able to. But he wanted to make a donation because he was really proud of all the things that we're doing. So I asked the court if they would graciously accept these awards and donations.
Awesome. That's a good story. Hey, do I hear a motion to accept these donations?
Move to accept the donations as presented.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, item 11 is discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations.
Nothing to do.
I'll just give you all a little heads up. Ben and I have been talking about some projects that need to be taken care of here at the courthouse with the stairs on either side over here and some structural stuff that needs to happen with those. So we've also, I've also contacted the Texas Historical Commission and they have, grant funding available and they sent a letter out that notified us that the grants would be opening in September. And after some inquiry, did receive an email back from them that said Hutchinson County would qualify because we do have our master plan updated. So we may be looking into applying for some grant funding for that and hopefully we can get all that covered under a grant. So anyway, y'all keep your fingers crossed and we'll work on that.
I think it's supposed to be what, July before that opens?
Yes, it'll be, so application time is September through May. They'll make awards in July of 2026. So it's a process, but it'll be worth it if we get approved. So that's all I have. Okay.
Put some signs up at the annex.
So I saw that. They look really good.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them on all three doors, juvenile, the main entrance to the tag office, and in the
So
middle,
basically, there are no smoking or vaping signs and no pets.
no soliciting.
So they look really good.
We've had some pets come in that weren't service dogs. So
Right. Okay, anything else? All right, item 12, we do not have any struck off tax properties or tax deeds. Item 13 is to adjourn into executive session. The first one will be section 551.071, consultation with attorney. We're also going to have a session on 551.074, personnel matters, and 551.076, deliberations about security devices. So if y'all will have a seat out in the hallway, as soon as we get done, we'll call you back in. Craig, you and Asa can stay. No, you
She said, do you have marbles to lose? I said, no. That's me.
Only escalations. Awesome.
We went out at 10:02, I think. Yeah, 10:02. Yeah, that's good. And back in at 11. I think I put 14.
All good.
That's safe.
Okay.
Okay, item 14 is to consider and or approve any action from executive session. Then you can make
I moved to raise Richard Hines' salary to 80,000 effective immediately.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, and was there any other action?
Move to approve the sheriff's office to pursue the purchase of in-car laptops through a state co-op, and if not available, to approve them to go out for formal bids before next meeting. And to take the money out of contingency fund. So approved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, now we're ready for our budget workshop. Okay, we'll start with Kelly. Okay, County Clerk.
All right, so we'll start with county clerk. I wanted to start with the salaries. There will be a reduction on that line item. I will have one deputy one during the new budget. I would like to move Tammy Brown from deputy 3 to deputy 2 at 52,577. And then at that time, I will have 2 deputy 3s that I'm starting at a lower salary than where the 2 left, as suggested by the court. So I will have a reduction in total salary there. Next is postage. I was gonna increase postage by 800, due to the request for the county attorney and county judge for additional jury trials for this next year. It doesn't look on my actual, like I've used much currently, but we did have 2 jury trials, 200 jury summons sent out in June that did not come out of that actual. So I did request an increase there. My bond, I made an error on that, Alicia. It can go back down to the 252. I just need it for the office surety. I was thinking about my next budget year when we will need the 4-year 60,000 bond for county clerk. So it can go back down to the 252. And then computer expense, the 500 is good. I had talked to Richard in May about my computers. We had discussed a couple of possible upgrades, but he thought this next year we could just do updates on a couple of them and then some, I think, memory updates. And so I think the total on that will just be about 320. So my 500 there should be good for computer expense.
So reduce that from 1,000 to 500.
Well, that's what I had, like, yes,
So reduce that to
sorry,
500.
yes,
Okay,
computer expense.
okay.
So that is my recommendation for the county clerk budget.
Okay. What's your number on elections?
Election,
490?
okay. I just wanted to let everybody know there had been a concern with our poll books, but they are state certified again, so we are good for our poll books. They should be going in for an upgrade August of 2025, so it's coming month. So our poll books are in good shape, thank goodness. I wanted to start with the reason why it looks like our election workers' salary and some of the supply and ballot expense not as much was used as what was budgeted for. I have to plan for a runoff election, and we did not have a runoff. We had the primary and the general, there was no runoff. So we had planned for a runoff, which it was kind of odd that we didn't have one. So that's why it looks like, the full requested wasn't used. I am still reducing that for this next primary potential runoff in general because we had increased because it was a presidential this last budget. So I do still think we can reduce there. Ballot supplies, and ballot expense, I would like to keep the same because of a potential executive order by the president. We won't know about that until September when the EAC votes on it. It'll be potentially eliminating our barcode technology, which our express vote ballot or our express votes that we mark, ballot marking devices, do have the barcode technology. So worst case, if it passes and there's no grace period, we could potentially have to go back to strictly paper until we can order machines with the no barcode technology. So that's worst case scenario, but we do have a backup plan. So that's why I'm keeping the supplies and ballot expense there because we may have to order, we already ordered quite a few paper ballots just for backup, but we may have to order more.
Way more.
Yes.
Okay.
Additional election training, just because of more and more legislation changes and added responsibilities. TAC holds election trainings that we don't typically go to. We always go to Secretary of State election training. And then there's also Texas Association of Election Administration training. So I was requesting more in the training budget of 1,500 to go to some additional trainings for elections. Okay. And then I know y'all have been talking about pulling from contingency, and I'm totally fine with that. This is in regard to that executive order and my equipment, because I had requested a substantial increase there of 56,500. Because if we do have to purchase new equipment with the barcode technology removed, then there should be a grant associated with that. If that passes, if that executive order passes, there should be a grant.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. But we would still have to budget for 20% of that grant. So of our portion. So in my calculations of the equipment that we would need and the 20%, it would be roughly around 20,000. And then if we got ahead of the game and went ahead and purchased 5 of the DS300 tabulators, we're probably going to need them anyway. That's an additional 38,000 with a buyback of the 12 that we currently have. We can just go contingency with that if you all think that that's the best thing. I was just requesting it.
Well, if we put that in the budget and purchase those, we'll be fine doing it after October.
Yes. Because we're not gonna know, well, we won't know until September. And then, if
Right.
that's even going to pass or not. So it's it's definitely a what if, and they could give us a grace period. Or they could say, no, this needs to start right now, but our backup plan will be the paper ballots because the equipment isn't even available yet.
Lovely.
Yes, the technology has started, but the machines have not actually been.
So then there's no potential like okay, you have these machines that do the barcode, but we're just gonna put an upgrade on them so then they'll stop doing that?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Now, these DS 300s, they're the tabulator, so they're what you put your express vote card or your ballot into. They tabulate. Those are already available. They're the DS 300. That is what we would go ahead and purchase to upgrade. It's the ballot marking devices, the express vote machines that you put that express vote card in. You mark who you want to vote for and it spits it out. Well, the barcode at the top is what holds the votes. They don't like that, that voters think that there is a way that that can be manipulated. I feel like it's less room for error that way than it is hand counting paper ballots or, but it's the enthusiasts that are concerned with things and we have to just roll with it. But the DS 300s will work with our current technology and the up and coming technology. That is what I was requesting to get ahead of the game and order 5 of those to already have them because they will work with the new technology. But another thing is, so House Bill 2753 has passed. We don't know if Secretary of State is going to want us to start this in the primary. It has to begin in 2027, and it's a new voting period. It will do away with 2 weeks of early voting, and then a weekend and a Monday, and then you have election day that Tuesday. It will be all one 13-day period. You'll have 12 days of early voting that will butt right up to election day. So it gives us no room to set up 9 precinct-based polling places at this time, but it looks like we may be able to use our 3 early voting polling places as those would be your election day
sites
polling.
too.
It would be in a sense similar to a like combined. It's just like early election day will be like early voting.
So, and
It'll be like in a sense like countywide voting.
even on election day, you can vote at any polling place.
Any of the 3, just like early voting. We're supposed to get more direction from the Secretary of State. We go to election school August 11th through the 13th, but there are big changes happening. In a sense, that will actually, we all panicked because we're like, how are we going to set up 8 individual precinct-based polling places between early voting and election day when there's no time? You'd have to do it like overnight or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But they're saying that you can use your early voting polling places as of now on election day, which would be a huge change for the voters. And we just have to get it all, that information out there. Social media, the news, everything.
So you should be able to vote at any of the early voting places.
Right, on election day.
Election. Yeah.
Mhm.
That
So,
was bad.
no, in that case, we would reduce our equipment load. So that's why I'm saying we would, instead of the 12 DS 200s that we have that we can trade in and get some money back on, we would only need 5. We will need less equipment, which is a positive if this executive order passes. Or we have to have the new equipment.
That is a lot of changes.
That's just 2, there are like 7, I think there's a lot of voter registration and there are about 7 or 8 pretty big House bills that passed.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. I know you all were talking a lot about contingency and not just doing the what ifs. So if you feel comfortable with when we find out in September, how the EAC is going to vote on this executive order and the barcode technology, we could request the 20% if a grant is provided, which it should be, and then go from there.
Are we pretty sure that's going to happen though? One way or the other, sooner or later, they're going to take the barcode technology off?
Probably. That's what I have.
What do y'all think? I say leave it in the budget for now.
Rather wait and see. Because it's gonna have to come out eventually anyway. So I mean, you still, if we're taking it from the taxpayers and it doesn't happen, then that's a huge cushion. But if it does happen, we're gonna have to find it anyway. We can pull it out of the general fund. So it's not.
Or contingent.
It'll have to happen, you know,
Right.
Right.
With all the
Okay.
what ifs,
yeah,
state contingency.
and I'm
Okay.
Mhm.
So we're changing that to 0 for now, and then if it's needed, we'll work on contingency, or y'all can you send it to us other, because it was 35.
3,500.
Yeah, I'd put it back to 3,500 just for.
Yeah.
Okay.
3,500 and
Yeah.
All right. Okay, anything else? Did you have any others?
No,
Budgets?
I did just want to mention that I do have packets in my office for the upcoming 2026 primary and the deadline for application for place on the ballot is November 8th through December 8th. If anyone needs packets or anything, they are in my office, or you can go on the Ethics Commission site, and there's lots of good videos and how-tos, and all of the forms are there as well. But that is what I have.
Okay. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks for that.
Okay, next up, district clerk. Oh, Tammy's not here, is she? No, she did, say that she was not gonna be able to be here and that there were no changes on hers. So,
450.
yeah, if you wanted to look at it. Carrie?
All I asked for was to increase Jessica West and Amber Ortiz to 52.
Everything else is the same?
Everything stays the same. Areas, which is fine. And
I didn't do it by myself.
sorry. Which is fine.
And we'll need to update the appraisal district amount whenever we get
Yeah.
that information. Yeah.
And you got the Tyler Technology, right? That's where I see that.
Yes, and we got that increase.
Any questions for Carrie? Y'all good with that? Okay. Amy? You're good.
Actually, that's changes. And we did add extra for computer support and maintenance, of course. The extra each year that goes up. And then on training and education, I went back down to the 4,000. And the dues went down to the 315. And the bond, just $50 for the bond. It's about it on that. Oh, and I did want to request that, on the part-time, I just felt like they needed to probably go ahead and be raised this year. It hasn't been since, 2021, since they had their last raise. So I was thinking maybe 1550 starting pay. Or
Is it 12
pay,
now or 12?
12.50.
12.50.
Or $16 or something a little more than the 12.50 with just all the expenses. So that was my request. the part-time hours.
I think the 1550 to 16 is more in line with where it should be, or you can't get anybody when you need.
Right. Is everyone okay with 16? Let's make it an even number.
Be fine with 16.
Gary, Chris?
Will that be a, so like if like the supervisor said, well, based on your experience, I think it should be 14. They would be able to have that.
They could,
Yeah.
alter it, yeah.
Yeah.
Up to
Up to
16,
16.
yeah. That would be my suggestion.
Comment?
Yeah, I mean, they could find a range in there that.
Flexible.
Yeah, I think that'd work.
All right. That sounds good. Thanks, Amy. Okay, Alicia.
495. I just reduced my postage because it doesn't send out very much mail. I am requesting increase to our training and education because we have found it very beneficial for Tiffany to attend the trainings as well. They have a lot of assistant auditor trainings. I reduced our bonds down to be what we actually are going to be paying for, and as well as our dues. I had over budgeted. I don't know how it got so inflated for our computer support and maintenance, but I reduced that to 19,000 to cover for Encode and Laserfish. And then asking for a $500 increase to computer expense because I would like to purchase another laptop, and we are probably going to have to purchase a more heavy duty micro printer, which is what we use to print our checks. We had a good one that was about 15 years old and it bit the dust, so we had to quickly buy another one, and it doesn't. After so many checks, it kind of starts fading. It's just not meant for as
Volume.
as we're doing. So we're gonna have to look at getting a more heavy duty printer.
Okay, any questions for Alicia? Hey, IT.
On mine, I didn't, since I've only been here for, it's only been 3 or 4 months, but I didn't know the yearly totals on some, so I left a lot of the accounts the same. I did have, there's one item that I forgot to ask Alicia about with the Tyler Technologies expense. So I left it at 130, but I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate, what it'll be, or.
And is that all in your renewal services?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I will need to double check because it is on we're on a contract, and so I think we have the exact amount of what it's gonna be, but I don't think I have it.
So we'll just need to plug that number in, whatever the exact amount is, because I just guessed on that.
And it should be about the same, because I think it increased a little bit, but not exponentially.
Okay.
I will double check that.
And then there's one item in here on, you can see on the equipment, I do have some more switches. I know we had spent quite a bit previously on switches, but we didn't replace any of our camera switches. So there's going to be probably $6,000 worth of switches I'm going to need to buy this next year. Our Wi-Fi system needs to be replaced, so that some of it's going to come out of this year's budget and some of it will be out of next year's budget. And then 2 of our camera servers are older and will need to be replaced. That's the equipment. On renewal services, you'll notice I did go up 54,000. That was that we had to spend some out of contingency because we didn't budget for it this year. So that's why there's the big increase. Is that we actually put that into the budget for the next year.
In the renewal services, for our MFA logon, you'll see that I budgeted 10,000. I don't know exactly how much that's gonna be, because I have two different. Our current one that we're currently using would be 32,000, which is just too much. So I have two different possibilities. One would be right around 10,000, one would be right around 6,000. So I budgeted for the higher one because I'm not yet sure exactly which one that we're gonna end up having to do. I think we're probably gonna end up doing the $10,000 one, so that's why I went ahead and budgeted for it. Any questions on anything else in there?
When the judge and I looked, we removed the $3,200 for the camera license because we are going to start paying for that out of the courthouse security fund
Yes.
and use some of those extra funds that we have.
Any other questions?
And on the fuel for the 3,300, based on the usage and stuff, I would recommend lowering that down.
I would say it'll be hard because of the time I've been here, half the time the truck has been in the shop. So that I don't know that we've had a full month so that we can see how much fuel I use in months.
Yeah,
I would use it based on what Russell has been using.
I'm driving much.
yeah.
He's using more.
Let's use this next year as like preliminary.
I would lower,
Leave it.
maybe,
3,000?
I think last year is 1,600.
Right.
I mean, we know where that 3,000 should be okay.
I would think so.
Yeah, because I bet he's gonna.
2 years prior was more, but we can leave it.
Well, and the prior to Josh and Russell were using it.
Right.
And I don't know if the other one's being used.
Yes, Felix does drive the other truck, so.
Yeah, we'll probably have to actually add to it then sometime.
That's being done. And Glade wasn't used, he was using his own car or whatever.
Yeah.
That would need to be accounted for.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Richard.
Thank you.
Okay. At the airport. Were there any changes on that?
The only thing that I have is also the fuel.
Oh, yeah.
With the.
Baltazar had a family emergency, so he let me know that he wasn't gonna be here. But he said he was fine with everything.
We have fuel at about 2,600. Whatever you vote on.
That fuel expense, 6813301.
Yes, the 3,301.
I would say we could do that.
Yeah, 'cause he's not gonna even hit 15 this year, doesn't he?
Okay. Anything that stands out to y'all on the airport one? Okay, museum, Ashley. Oh, yeah, to 2,600, yeah. I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, I'm like Richard, I've only been in the position for 6-7 months now. And so the budget is still kind of new to me. There was a recommendation to, lower the copier expenses. When you look at the expenditure report that you sent us in July, Ms. Leisha, we only have $400 left in copier expenses. And we had lowered in the budget $400, taking that out, so that might not play well next year.
Fine.
because at the time when we were working on it,
Lowered to be more in line with current usage. Maybe at the time when we looked at that, it was,
I need you to fix this, where I can get onto this shared drive on my tablet,
Sorry.
where I can get on. the shared drive. You can fix this to where I can get on the shared drive, but it doesn't have to be right now, at some point. But I did do a spreadsheet for the copiers, and that's where I got to that.
Okay.
But I will double check.
okay,
that.
perfect, because on the expenditure report you just sent to us, there's only 480 left in the copier line. So that's why I was like, oh no, we'll be cutting it close. So, and then, we had eliminated the membership and dues line because it wasn't being used. But Clay wasn't members of the Texas Association of Museums or the American Alliance of Museums. So I would like for us to join those because it gives my staff and I beneficial training. So we would need about $300 for membership and dues. But other than that, great with all of this. Thank you.
Could add, what's the event line item for? Because there's 100 there, we can move
Right,
that
just-
and just make it 300 in membership and dues, because that
Right.
hadn't been used and.
Right, we were going to eliminate membership and dues and, events and volunteer programs.
because the Friends do most of that.
We hope so.
Yeah,
Haven't planned it yet.
right.
I'm hoping that they do.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I was looking at the,
That's okay. The current budget.
where they're requested.
And then we lowered the gift shop because when we get donations, unless they're specified, we're gonna put those in the gift shop line item. Because we're going to try to make our gift shop more user friendly, and we're the only place in this area that can market the Adobe walls. We've had several requests for Adobe walls memorabilia, and so that's where the gift shop is gonna come in. So I'll tell y'all when we get new stuff so y'all can support it around town too. Any questions?
Okay, thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay,
Should be able, just throw that out there on the building maintenance, I should be able to stick to the 15 next year on that line item. In the museum,
okay.
that hasn't moved out.
What's the number for the library?
Library is 650.
Oh, there it is. I got a tab. Okay, Nancy's also out of town and she said the copier expense that she raised $800, she said that's due to the increase in the children's programming. They have added additional story times and then had an increase in numbers for their summer reading program. So that was why she raised the copier expense. And the training increase is due to the grant requirements that she's applied for. So if she gets approved for that grant, then they're required to attend some mandatory training for that. And let's see. I think those are the only two things that she stressed to me. Everything else was fine. Any questions? Okay. Juvenile, Jeremy, do what?
571.
Anything?
I have no increase, report, blah, blah, blah.
Counseling? Did we go up on that?
All I've done is, move some money from one to another, pending, approval with the juvenile board.
Just move 2,600
From detention to counseling. Okay, got it.
And then we just reduced the bonds by 150 to be what you're actually paying for. There was 500 that was being budgeted, but the total of the bonds is only 350. We just choose that. And then the fuel comes out on my stuff to be about 3,000. So I don't know if I want to change that or leave it at the 3,100 or.
I like to leave it.
I don't think it's
Close.
fun.
Okay. Thanks, Jeremy.
So on the detention, we have 115,000 in there.
We do.
Have we ever come close to hitting that? Cause I mean, the last several years, it's 14,000, 13, 33, and then this year we're 28,000.
This year we probably will.
Yeah,
Well, what people don't see is that we apply for a lot of regional money. That we have state funding, we also have regional money that's available. That is separate from the state. There's a lot of times that we're applying for regional money, we're getting it. And that's paying for detention bed, specifically placement beds.
Right.
So like right now, I've got a kid that just got approved for placement bed that's $850 a day. That's 29,000 a month.
and if we had to pay for that,
RDA took care of it. But if
Yeah.
I was to place that kid, you know, on our own, if we tried that, that was the only placement in the state we could get him in. It was $850 a day. So with the applying for that money, we don't ever see the detention budget, you know, typically get down that low. But that's all subject to whether we, you know, get approved or not. I know in the past that we've been, and it's been a long time ago, I think we've been around 50, but the detention is going to take care of things such as your psychologicals, you know, medication, placements. And so, like I said, placements can vary. We had one year, we had 5 placements, but regional diversionary took care of most of that. It's just money that we can apply for. I've also got what they call emergent money, which with this year being a bad year for detention for us. If I got close, you know, we're shit lower, I can apply for that emergent money, which is separate from RDA. And that can help absorb that detention amount as well. So we have ways of this money other than through our state money, through RDA and emergent.
So you said that we were gonna hit it this year? Or who, did
Well,
you say that?
well, I didn't know that big one was gonna
Okay.
get the reimbursement.
Yes,
That's just what I was saying.
that 29,000 a month got it's gonna be reimbursed.
So
So we,
I think it's something that it could be lowered and then it's contingents.
right,
If it-
because
if more-
traditionally, we haven't even used $50,000. No, not in the last 3 years.
It's just something that we cannot,
Right, you can't control it.
it's too fluid because we also have cases where we may get a juvenile court order to the PJJD. And then they sit in there for, you know, there's a pending list to get these kids there, and it's 110 kids in front of them, you know, and that's very typical.
And none of that is reimbursable? If they're in PJJD?
RDA money. I might get emergent money, and sometimes TJJD's understanding the problem has offered funding, but we also come to the part of we have to spend our minimum as well to get state funds. So we're not spending that minimum, that's also
what is a minimum?
the minimum amount.
Yeah, yes,
I
sir.
believe our minimum is, I think it's around 315, I believe. I have to look again and see.
Okay.
But that's just changed because they gave us more money. It used to be a lot less, but they have changed that. I'd have to look and see for sure on that, but I'll try to remember. They just changed that last year. So there's a lot of making sure that we're spending enough, you know, to also receive our state money.
The reason I ask that is because that's one of those things that I think me personally, I'd like to see lowered, and it's not to punish, you know, for not using it. It's just to, you know, we take that money from the
Be more realistic.
taxpayers And it's one of those things, if we lower it, we can always still pull it from the general fund, and if we say we need this money, but
Yeah, there's just a lot in play there because, we can have 5 placements in 1 year, or we can have 1. And then also we have a program, Liberty Resources, which is coming out of state that was approved by the juvenile board at 60,000. And so it's just, there's so many variables in that retention budget.
I thought that Liberty was going away because we didn't have anybody in the area.
We've got, it was approved last year, and we have.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah,
approved
we've
it,
still
but,
got one right now as far as we know.
oh, I
Yeah, as
thought,
far as we know. So,
but that's paid out of state funds.
yes,
Could we,
but it could also be paid potentially out of pension out of that county too, if we had to. If we're wanting to have a program or whatever, but to use up those state funds because of the fact that, you know, we might have 1 placement that we ran into that last year, that becomes a problem because I don't want to send back a bunch of money to the state. In fact, those 8 counties in the Panhandle, they got cut this year because they sent back state money. And throughout the state, 36. So we always want to zero out that state money as much as possible.
100%.
In fact, I think I looked and we might have got about 10 grand state this year because we did use all ours up.
what are your thoughts on that detention? Could
I would like to
lower it to like
to-
80?
Well, I would even say
60?
60. And then if we get into a bind, we still, I mean, because we have.
Pull it out of
reserves
contingency.
and general fund that if we,
That's not something that you could
It wouldn't
do
be,
a budget amendment for.
it'd be, have
You
to
would
come
have
out of
to take it out of
contingency.
contingency funds. Because a budget amendment that you can pull out of our reserves. has to
Emergency.
It's
be
an emergency. I think not being able to,
And whatever y'all
Pay for
whatever y'all
detention,
decide to
emergency.
certify as an emergency is up to y'all, but.
I mean, I see that as an emergency.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I see it that way.
It says something about that it's a public hazard, or I don't remember the exact wording of the statute.
But even if we need to pull it right out of contingency,
Yeah.
I mean, we still have.
And I think that that's kind of what the consensus was, that instead of all of the what
What
ifs
ifs,
being
mhm.
throughout the entire departments, we were gonna put all what ifs in a
Yeah,
big
convert-
line. So that if the what ifs happened, that we could transfer.
Because the average of the last 4 years, counting where we're at now, according to this, is gonna be around like $24,000. Because it was 13 and 14, and then 33 and then 28. So,
And understanding that those placements are very expensive. And
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't get those, it can be 60,000.
right,
That pension budget. I've got one in Pegasus right now, and it's about 6,000 a month. So he's been there, I'll be there probably 9 months. What we're looking at, leave it.
And you're not getting any reimbursement for that, or you paid it out of state funds?
That's what I'm saying. We've got the reimbursement. But I never know if that's gonna get approved or not. If it don't, I got a kid that's gotta go, then it's 60,000 out of that pension. y'all
Right.
talking about right now.
Right.
And so, depending on, you know, however y'all wanna decide, I'll go to the juvenile board. I'm not in favor of cutting the pension, but I will talk to the juvenile board and present it to them. So,
I'm not in favor of that.
No, me either.
and that's fine. I mean, the last 4 years, we've added $400,000 to the general fund for not using that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, I
One
mean,
thing that,
that's $500,000 from taxpayer money that we're putting right in the
Right.
general fund just because of what ifs.
yeah, if we leave it as a high amount of the what if, I would like to treat it like we do our trial expense or something like that, to where it's not, you're not able to line item transfer from it. Because it is a what if, and so if, like, we use that trial expense, and in our budget amendment policy, we have one that listed as an account that you can't transfer money from.
Right.
Just like fuel or salaries or utilities or something. And so since it's a what if, Like, 'cause there's plenty, I mean, there's enough in the rest of the budget to spend the minimum without having to spend all of that hundred and some, and not that they ever do, but I would just like to have that,
Stipulation.
yes, that, kind of that.
Have you ever
constraint.
transferred money out of that fund?
What's that?
Have you ever transferred any money out of that fund?
Out of detention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He did right
Like
this
right
year.
now, what I'm doing is with Ryan, he's
To office
requesting an
equipment.
increase, we are transferring out of detention fund to him.
He did this year,
We moved
3,000.
3,000 out
Right.
to office
600.
equipment, and I think that was for the copy, because the copy machine was.
If we're gonna transfer out, because that is a fund that stays, more flush than any of them, it's usually our detention fund that we transfer from, if we need to, add to another line item. But, I can't out predict the detention aspect of
Right.
it or the approvals on rental money or anything like that.
Yeah, and that's not me saying like do less of your job. I
Mhm.
mean, like if it was lowered and you said we need 40,000, I mean, I'd approve in a heartbeat. I mean, I just think, I harp, the what ifs. I mean, like I said, we haven't used it the last 4 years. I mean, that's almost $400,000 that we paid into the general fund. It's just trying to find more of a balance of I don't want to say the drier years. I mean, we are going to take a hit, say the next 5 years, next year you get hit and we have to have 115, but then the next four we get the state reimbursements. I mean, it's just more of a fluid thing for me to be able to say, we added to it instead of didn't use it and just still took that taxpayer money. And I hope you don't see it as like me saying like do less of a job or not do the job. I want the job done 100%. Have you done it?
Do that.
And if we don't get the reimbursement,
Right.
address it appropriately. That's just me though. I mean, y'all said that you're.
Yeah.
I think to stay in line with the things that we've talked about of stop budgeting for the what ifs, I think it would be appropriate to lower it. More in line with the actual, if you look at the 3 years and this year, just lower it to 60. And if we get hit, then we'll take it out of contingency and review it again next year.
I just don't like seeing contingency used for just
A big bucket of what ifs.
reach in your hand and grab a bunch of money, and that seems like what.
Well, and that's not what it's for though.
I still think the budget needs to be a budget.
I don't think we're saying everybody just grab from the cookie jar. I think it's saying. Like,
What-
because the detention technically is their contingency right now.
Yeah.
And so we need to
Contingency,
take contingencies out of the department. If we're gonna have a $300,000 contingency line item, like it's been said, like Leisha and Judge have said it.
500.
Or 500, yeah, it started at 300. We either get rid of that and let them have the what ifs, or we try to narrow down the what ifs and. Cause contingency, $500,000 from the taxpayers, right like that. And then there's a reason why we're adding months to our general fund. In a couple of years, we're gonna have 2 years of general funds and have to look the taxpayers in the eyes and still say, yeah, we're still needing more taxpayer money.
I do need to add something on this, Lexi. Instead of 350, our statement was 513 now. It was 292 before last year, and they increased it from 292 to 513.
And if I'm gonna piss people off, I'd rather piss them all off one time and then have a whole year of piss them all off at once. So y'all are wanting to leave it?
well, I'm not against lowering it some, but
Yeah,
it's just,
Okay, how about 80,000?
the contingency to me is just an emergency fund. It's just the unforeseen that absolutely couldn't see coming, and this is, you can't see a lot of this coming. That's true, I agree, but our budget still needs to be a budget.
And it is a budget, you're budgeting for
I'm
actual.
not really
So-
arguing with her, I'm just making a comment.
And But that's what I just wanted to point out that, I mean, based on the actual expenses, that's what you're budgeting. So if an emergency comes back, then it.
We all got our view though, but yeah,
So are you okay with 80? Or do you want to leave it at 115?
what do you think, Gary?
Yeah, I don't wanna lower it too much. I'm with Ben on that. About 85.
Are you okay with that, Chris?
No. I mean, we're averaging, and the average isn't even over 50,000. The things from contingency I would like to see taken from are jury trials. Like that aren't foreseen, that are, and we've said it several times, the department heads and elected officials, they can't buy a computer. Sorry about you, like you have another year. Like, I mean, we should have planned that stuff. But like jury trials and detentions, things that are the super fluid things that nobody knows, those are straight from contingency. And I mean, it's just, I don't know.
The tax money's collected, the money's not gonna go anywhere. Well,
You can tell the
either here or
taxpayers
there.
that.
Well,
That's terrible.
But we set the tax rate, so we know how much we're gonna collect
yeah,
And
based
me,
on our bottom line budget.
yeah, I try to make the decisions as a taxpayer. And if you told me that money's not going anywhere, you still have my money from the last 4 years that I could be using on my house and other things. So, I mean, that's another what if that we can't have as a commissioner's court. Like, we take these money, it's not going to go anywhere. We'll use it for you sometime, but just y'all don't get to use it.
Anyway, I'd say 80,000. I'd be fine with that, if you'll go with that.
I'd go with 80 if we remember to revisit it again next year to see kind of where we're at.
Absolutely.
I'd like to drop it a little bit more, but I'll compromise with that.
Okay, let's go 80. Got that, Jeremy?
So 80.
80. Okay, thank you. Is that all on juvenile?
That's it.
That'll still leave the total budget as like 615. It'll fit your minimum.
And that's been, board, approval, I guess.
Right, juvenile board has to approve.
Yeah.
Okay, adult probation, talked to Jennifer and she was okay with the recommended budget.
Jeremy, would you, before you leave,
Yeah.
if you would like someone at that board meeting to talk, I mean,
I'm on it. Leisha goes.
Yeah, I forget you're on it, but yeah,
I go.
I just want to make sure we had somebody there asking questions. I forgot you're on it.
Thanks,
thank
Jeremy.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, extension. Rochelle.
So, the good news is the ag job has been posted internally, finally through the Texas AgriLab. So we're crossing fingers that maybe someone in the state wants.
When did that happen?
As of June 23rd.
Awesome.
When it's gonna post externally, we don't know. So I know there was a budget amendment for their travel, and I'm fine with that because Josh says he doesn't look for it to be a September hire. They hire quarterly.
Right.
So, then we're looking more at a January hire. So I know that budget's been cut, but I think that's fine. Next year hopefully we'll have an ag agent and that can go back up. The only other thing I have that is a change from that recommended budget line was just, in that FCH home economics supply column, from that 1,500 to go up to 2,100, which would be an increase, and that just has to do with the federal grant that July 4th, the federal cut of money that come from the AgriLab side. So that was the only change or recommendation that I had.
Okay, so we need to move it from 1,500 to 2,100?
Yes.
The only thing that I had was on the fuel.
Yes,
It
and the
came out.
fuel, we did a fuel increase just because oil, I think we had the oil changed recently. I think it's like 200 or something when we take it in. So just to make sure it's covered and we have enough in that budget.
Well, and when I do the usage, I get, which is kind of hard because they only got the card in July of 2024, but it says based on the current usage, about 1,500 is what's actually being spent on just fuel.
On just fuel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on just fuel. So I don't know if there's,
And I think it'll be more than that.
well, and on that fuel line, I like to keep it just fuel or maybe an oil change,
An oil change,
but any kind of other maintenance tires and stuff. I would like to change the name of their office equipment and maintenance to just be equipment and maintenance since they now have a truck. And that's really not an office equipment. I guess, but it is, it's equipment for your office.
Right.
So I just want to change the name of that account so that any kind of repairs could come out of that line. So I don't know what y'all want to do with the fuel and oil.
I'd love to see oil or fuel usage go up 20-30%. That means you're giving more services. I look at it a little differently, but having the fuel budget constantly is just not sitting well with me.
So leave it at 3,000? Or 2,300?
You're not using it. It doesn't matter what you put in the budget if you're not using.
Yeah, I don't think we're not punishing them and telling them not to do their job. They're just not, we're putting it what they're doing. And if they need more, they can ask for it when they need it. I mean, we've said that several times. With hers, I'd leave it though, because if we have a second one, if we hire the second one, then that's gonna,
Well, if the second one comes, then I guess the truck will go back to them and she
Yes.
will go back to.
Oh, yeah, that's
her
right.
vehicle.
That's right.
Yes.
Stipend.
Which honestly, I use for a lot. I mean, just cause it's easy. I mean, you know, I know the truck's there, but yeah. That's the plan. And like I said, hopefully in January, that position is filled.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Just for the record, using fuel is a good thing.
Okay, so do we leave it at 2,300 or 3,000? 2,300?
I'm fine with 2,300. I think where we've at though, we've cushioned it so much. I think we're just trying to find what they need to do their job, not tell them to do less of a job.
It's not trying to tell them to do anything. It's just that you look at it the way you do, I'll look at it the way I do.
Right.
I'll tell you.
Okay, anything else, Rochelle?
No.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, maintenance. What you guys got?
Raise up the janitor.
Let's,
They calculate mine.
let's skip that one and come back to that, because that's pretty much just us, that non-departmental. Let's go down to sheriff. We'll go back. No, we did not forget you.
It's definitely been interesting going from my one little person in the department.
You're one
The
page.
biggest department in the county.
Yeah.
Did everybody sent that the change sheet? Did everybody get that so they could see? So definitely going through and trying to clean up
Originally.
some items in here. Kind of work my way through. The first one is the 1101 on the, sorry.
Oh, I guess I don't have it.
That was the K-9 officer stipend. Over the last several months, I've been really kind of diving in and looking at viability of programs. What are they providing us and what are they not providing us and what we're paying for them? Talking with our district county attorneys and looking at the progress of that program. It's definitely not, we were averaging about when we would actually work the dog about $800 per run on the animal. That's definitely not feasible for keeping. So as of effective June 1st, I canceled canine programming. So dog was not ours, so it was actually a personally owned dog, so I didn't really do anything as far as the dog. It's just as far as the stipend that was going directly to that officer was in the juice.
He's still with us.
Yes.
Okay.
Another thing to help with that a little bit is all sheriff's office vehicles remain in the county. They don't travel outside the county when it comes to residents. If you live within the county, you can still have your vehicle. We like that because quick response on call outs is benefit. But we do still have some that live outside the county, but those vehicles stay at the sheriff's office. They drive to the sheriff's office, pick them. They help cut down on some fuel and maintenance and whatnot. Obviously, with the Samsara stuff, is definitely helping me see what the difference is on traveling, especially when they were traveling outside of the county. So that line item there, 5,500 no reduction. The next one was 2050, and that's uniforms. This has been a giant headache coming in and looking at uniform situations. There's 3 different uniforms in the department that were different colors and different, it was a mess. So trying to get everybody a class A uniform and then trying to get everybody situated with enough uniforms we can get, they can have some to get to the cleaners, but still have some that they can outside of the transition time to get those uniforms back. They still have uniforms that they can wear on duty. So I'm looking at increasing that a little bit in this budget. Hopefully next budget, I can bring that back down because we're going to get caught up with the uniforms that they need. Obviously, we'll still have to have some in there to fix alterations and replace some that are torn and whatnot. But I wanted to increase that to try to help this current situation I'm in. The next one is 3,100 office supplies. That one, printers are my enemy. I'm sure that's they come up and work on printers and stuff like that, but the ink toners and all that cost on the printers, there was literally like a printer in like everybody's office. And Richard actually got we moved all the deputies into the biggest room in the sheriff's office and got the copier, the contracted copier network to those, so I could start cutting down on that a little bit. But I put that in there as far as an increase in that one because we were getting high on it. We've already had to transfer a little bit, so on that one. So we were high on the percentage. That's why I added to it. And mostly it was because of the ink toner, but working on reducing that. But right now, that's kind of still our situation. Postage, like Alicia said a little bit ago, we're reducing. We don't have as much stuff we're mailing out. We still do have to mail out stuff to state labs and whatnot. So I still need to have some in there. I just don't need to have 2,000 in there. So we're just reduce that by $1,000. Employee medical expense. This one was whenever we have to hire somebody, we have to go through all the medical backgrounds and all that stuff. So obviously, hiring people, that changes a little bit. So we increased that because we're just running a high percentage of it. We're at that 20 or $2,000 plus dollars. We have 1,500 in there, so we're just running higher. Hoping that maybe we don't have to do that. Depends on how obviously well we keep people employed. So as long as we're doing that, that should stay low. But the reason why that was added as far as an increase was the high percentage that we're using in the line item. What's the next one? Oh, training and education. That one was on Alicia. Maybe you can help me with that. That was a reduction of 5,000. I know it had changed the. I was looking at the travel and lodging side of it. The jail and the sheriff's office, they both have a training and education line item. The travel and lodging is all done through the sheriff's office. So whenever they go to a hotel.
That is incorrect. All of the jail training
Mhm.
gets paid out of their training and education, their travel
Right.
for the training and their training registration. In the sheriff's department, the training registrations get paid out of that education, and then you have a different line for your travel and lodging.
It's not what I was told.
But all of the jail travel for their training gets paid out of
The jail line item.
the jail training and education line,
So even their
their line.
hotel expense comes out of the.
Everything. Yes. And then if it's for jail, for inmate transport, it all gets paid out of that inmate transport.
So the
But I
line
went
item that,
back and looked to just to make sure that I wasn't misunderstanding, but in the general ledger, none of the jail travel for training gets paid out of the sheriff's line.
okay, so the 4270, that's what you created on the new one, is that right? Travel and lodging,
Yes, as your request, I'm doing a travel and lodging on the jail for this next year.
the 4,000, you took that out of the training and education and moved that to.
Yes. Okay, let me double check. We're on the jail now?
That was a joke,
Yeah.
sorry. Trying to,
So yes, on the jail, the 4271 training and education, we're moving 5,000. Or sorry. So you increased it by 5,000 because you got it,
right, and then that's when we talked about creating that other line item so we could separate that out.
right? And so we reduced the training and education down to 6. And then
Put 4,000 in the,
4,000 into the travel
Travel
and
and
lodging
lodging.
to cover hotel expenses.
To keep it at the original 10.
10.
Yes.
Then on the employee medical on the jail side also, that was a additional, or created that one as well.
Yes. And we did, employee medicals at 4053, and we just made it the same as the sheriff's side, which was 1,500. Yes.
So I would say that if we got that done on the sheriff's office side with the employee medical, we can leave that one at the original amount, the 1,500 that you had put in there. Because I had asked for the increase, but they were both using that on both sides. But now since for the employee medical on
For
the
jail and sheriff.
right. So now since they have their own, I don't need the additional 500 in the sheriff's office side.
So leave it as 1,000.
1,500.
Oh, well, it was increased to 1,500. It was originally 1,000 for this year, and then you moved 1,200 into it, and then,
Yeah, that was the amendment, right?
yes.
Yeah, so
But the
I had
original budget
1,000.
is 1,000,
Right.
and then you requested 1,500.
Right. Okay, I was looking at 1,000 and I wanted the additional 500, but if it's,
How much does
Which one do you want?
one medical expense cost?
He's on the 560.
so it depends on what all we have to give.
40,
Sometimes it's
40,
just the.
The evaluation, site evaluation?
Yeah, and sometimes it's the physical and all that too, so it really depends on
Oh,
what you need from the individual. So 1,500 for both, is that what we're-
That's what it's currently at.
okay, I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right, bounce back from the sheriff's to the jail, because we're talking about the jail, so.
but we're back on the sheriff.
Sure. Let's see. 4550 or 4546, the ACT task force, that's a line item that honestly was hardly ever used, and really with this line, there's other applications that I can go with now as far as some task forces and things that we don't really need that. This is something that we could utilize to do like drug buys and things like that. Like I said, I have some really good contacts now with some federal agencies that I can utilize them, we utilize them already on that. But honestly, just for liability, I don't even like having it. So I requested that we got rid of that one. 5701, the squad cars. This one, we were looking at replacing 2 vehicles this year. One Tahoe has 160,000 on it, and one Dodge Charger that's still on the fleet. And then the number that came up with that was based off of the quotes that we got in the last one. That was just 2 of those. Canine expenses, obviously, with not having the program, the expenses, so deleting that one as well. Then 5720 computer expense, this was the issue that we had just taken care of, so that as far as the previous budget was 2,500, is that right?
Mhm.
I don't see why we can't just leave it at that as far as, since we fixed the other issue that we had talked
Okay.
about earlier. The 5731, I know it says Verizon, but it's actually AT&T FirstNet.
Mhm.
This one was increased because we had to move some money because whenever they did the Axon and video installs, those installs have to have that AT&T FirstNet card and the cradle points. That wasn't added to with the jail van and Monica's car. They have those as well because they have camera systems. So that it didn't get added to the last budget, so I had to increase that up to take care of that difference in the cost of those 2 vehicles. Jail side.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so go back to training and education. Where did we land with that? Are we at 5,000?
So you had,
It was 10,000,
10, yes.
transferred 2 out of it. Was 8. And then you're requesting 5, is that right?
well, we reduced, so he requested 10.
Mhm.
And then when we got together,
Mhm.
Judge, we reduced it to 5. Because he wanted to move it out of the training and education line and into the travel.
Yeah, so the.
So that,
Oh, okay,
Yeah, the change was it was, we had enough to pay for the classes, but the hotels are running us like $700-800
right.
to go to the class. So we couldn't schedule some classes because we're looking at the cost of the hotels.
The hotels.
And the food and all that was more than what we had for the class, so moving some of that, changing it around to adjust for that, or more for the hotel lodging and less for the actual training. We also have a couple other accounts that we can use for training if it comes up. What was we should get to help me with the
Leos.
Leos, yeah, with the Leos money, we get that from the state. And it helps we can spend it specifically for training.
For training.
Every once in a while, if we need more on the training side, we can tap into a couple of things. Travel and lodging is all on us, so I'd rather.
So the training and education and the travel, the amount stayed the same if you add them together, it's just how it's allocated.
Okay.
Between them.
I just want to make sure I was straight on that. Okay.
And then I had, so on the office supplies, the 3,100, you had requested to increase it by 3,000. When the judge and I got together, we reduced it back down to the 5. Because a lot of that was due to the change in administration, and those expenses won't happen again.
Yeah, so it did put a lot on it, like when you have to do new letterhead.
New letterhead, new cards
It
and.
was rather, like I said, one of the biggest expenses that I see or that we're having to do is the ink toner.
Right.
And getting more past that, and so that hopefully doesn't change again anytime soon, but the ink toner was a
So are we gonna leave it as his requested 8, or are we gonna go with the recommended 5? I just need clarification.
Well, I would say 5 is good, because if you look the last 3 years, I mean, it's close to 5, but
It's, well, yes.
well, but then,
6.
Right, but a lot of that is one-time things that
Right.
aren't gonna happen anymore since you've gotten
2,000.
letterhead.
and like when we get a new officer, do we get them cards too? So hopefully that will stabilize and we won't.
Well, we have to always order new.
Right, but not
Yeah.
cards that we don't use. Oh.
No, I would say that as far as it's normally at 5, and we amended it to 7, is that right?
Mm,
You
Yeah.
requested 8, but the last 3 years, it's always been under 5.
This
I
is
think that'd be-
amended on 9/30/25.
Yes, you did have to move some money in there to cover for your one-time changing the letterheads, changing all of that thing, all that stuff.
mhm.
But for the most part, it's running you about 5,000.
I'd be all right with the 5, because he has a miscellaneous line item too that has 4,000 that can move around.
I'm trying to do this.
Right. I say we leave it at 5. And we'll look at that again next year because we
Yeah.
won't have all of those.
Card, letterhead, a new executive chair.
There's a lot of places we can transfer.
Two new tablets were also purchased, so I mean, different things that probably aren't gonna happen again. And I mean, yeah, you did have to add in some money this year, but it may not happen again. But it's the court's budget.
I'm good with it, I'll work with what I get.
I just need to know what number to put in the box.
5, is everyone good with 5?
I'm good with 5.
Okay. Okay, are we on the jail?
2050, 561, 2050 uniform, same situation as them, I actually have more people on the jail side, but we're still trying to, outfit for the same reasons. Go more into that. See, 3,100 also, that was the office supply situation. We were at 2244, and I just put on there for high rate. We were at 2244 out of 2,500. So I increased it 1,000.
And then the judge and we reduced.
What comes out of the office supplies that costs so much more this year
On the,
for the jail? That's a Leisha question. Like, was it their perpetual copy machine?
there was, no.
Well, I
Printer and
know
the-
extra
Fax
thing,
machine.
said something about the toner cartridges too, but a lot of times y'all use SCAP money for toners. They use the SCAP
I
grant.
know we had to get a new printer in there too. I think that
Mhm.
was
There's something.
There was a big one-time.
Mhm. Fax machine, fax printer.
I don't know. Business card. Toner. And it doesn't look like there was any kind of unusual one-timer things, but I think just because of the prior usage, we left it at the 25 because it was always under 25. But there was, I think, some extra, because there was business cards. Notary, well, that wasn't very.
Yeah, we did have to increase the, added two
Any
additional
cartridge,
notaries.
A storage box. Langwell envelopes. It says toner T-Lex machine, that was kind of a big thing.
That's a special printer.
That just
Well, there
prints
was
up
one
like
not like-
CCHs and stuff.
Specifically for that dogs.
About $500, and it was just business cards and envelopes, so.
Let's compromise with 3,000. Are we good with that? Instead of 3,500?
I'd still be good with 2,500. I mean, even with those extra expenses, we're gonna be hitting right at the 2,500 this year.
I can be on some crap.
That was me.
Minus anything. Minus anything.
I thought it was mine at first.
Do you have any extra expenditures? Cause even with those added ones this year, we're still kind of right at.
Ultimately, I mean. So
Right.
it's still new in it too.
Right.
Yeah, not that I have
Nothing-
seen so far as
Nothing planned.
but obviously it's day to day.
I don't know. I'm just in the league of, on the increases, unless we don't have a plan, I just don't see why.
That's the only reason I put on there was the high percentage rate on it. That's
Right.
the only reason. Right,
Year to date,
2 months left and I'm only like at budget, so.
right?
But also like, the longer I do this, I get more. Yeah, a little better at looking at other things that I can be like, now let's see if we can make that last a little longer. Adjust it. Get a little better at it.
So in that first year, it's always gonna cost more because you're having to replace.
Right.
Stuff.
And on like in else supplied, we're half of the 9,000. So we have like 4,000 there we pull in this year if we needed to. So I mean, that's where I'm at the camp of like leaving it the same and kind of having to kind of fill in the surpluses as you find out the budget. Like if you need 3,000 for office supplies, you can pull 500 out of just supplies next meeting for, in a heartbeat.
Okay,
Even at 25.
leave it at 25.
I'm fine with that. I don't know about.
Yeah.
And then we reduced the copier expense too. And that was probably based on my analysis sheet. Down to 2,000. And two, one of the things is I've kind of been under budgeting some things because there's stuff, I mean, you're never gonna use 100% of your budget. And so because the fund balance has been growing so quickly, I've been trying to maybe under budget copiers because you may not use all of your computer expense.
Right.
And so that's gonna kind of, you can use.
Gonna be a
that
wash at the
other
end.
places. So that's kind of where I was looking at, instead of budgeting just enough or a little bit more in cases, I was kind of wanting to use some of the unused budget so that maybe we could get fund balance to be a little bit closer to what it needs to be.
And I'm fine with that.
Me too.
So
Kind of
now that I just remember after talking with Ashley, that's kind of why it may look like, oh, we're not gonna have enough in that budget, but you would have other places
You could
that
transfer.
you can move that will offset that lower amount.
Makes sense.
All right, so let's leave that at copier expense at 2,000. Okay. Kitchen supplies?
Kitchen supplies, the next one is the refrigerator in the kitchen. It's a closed system and has a whole link in it. Had to come out and recharge it. She said this is the second time. Had to recharge it. And it's old and needs to be replaced. So, went and got a quote. That quote there is what you see is what it take to replace it with the same size that would fit the area that refrigerator is currently in it. So the 576730 is what it costs to replace that.
Okay.
The only other question I had was like 3331, 3351, jail supplies, kitchens, janitor supplies. There's a lot of different lines. Is there, just like I'm just trying to learn, is there a reason we don't have like maybe one of those other supplies, like gel supplies?
That's how it was when I got here. So, if you wanted one that just said jail supplies and use it for janitor,
And kitchen?
kitchen,
Yeah, it was
you know.
definitely just a question. I didn't know why we had it like that. It just seems like it was.
How it
like
was set up when I got here, and I don't know if one of the previous sheriffs wanted to be able to track that and see how much they were spending in kitchen supplies versus janitor supplies, or if the auditor previous to me wanted to track it. I don't know. It's just been that way since I've been here. But I have no issue with combining the janitor, jail and kitchen together to be just jail supplies.
I think it would be, I think it'd be easier for both of us to.
Do
I'll
you
have to
see
break
any
it up.
reason? It'll be easier on Laura too, because she's the one who splits. So
Yeah, she's always in there asking, what is this one? God, what is this one?
Yeah.
So, but you know, from an accounting standpoint, I have no reason to keep them separated if you would like them combined.
I think I would like that if y'all are.
Yeah, sounds good.
Money's the same.
Simplify it.
I think that's all I have. Just
Everything else on the next page you're okay with?
that was the,
So just probably for this next budget, whenever you see it, I'm gonna zero those out and just move it all into the jail supplies line, because at the end of the year, I'm going to just merge all those accounts on ours, so it keeps all of the previous details
Right.
together. And then I had a question on the jail computer support and maintenance, the 5615721. You requested an increase of 1,500, but it's typically only running about 2,500. Was there a specific reason for that increase?
yeah, that one.
Another software?
The
I think it's.
update on the camera, or not update, is the annual service on the camera server. And so this was, came from Russell. He added this I thought it was 1915. But he said that it was a maintenance agreement for the camera server.
What was it, 5721?
Yes.
And we had,
5721.
yeah, we had to pay for it. It's unexpectedly this last time, so that's why we added it to.
So with access?
Mhm.
Access,
have-
fire,
I don't-
security.
Yes.
Should be
Yeah, we've been
active.
paying it every year and it's. only
This was not with access. I don't know if it was
Exact. No, that's still, is it the exact software?
It's in my office. I can get that and send it to you.
Okay. But that one's usually about 2,500. Yeah,
Whenever you
it's that
cancel me.
exact. Like it was 1840.59 this year, plus 62.50 for the remote technician.
And that was for the what?
Remote license software. It's the only thing that gets paid out of that. And it was-
Always said it was for the stuff for the jail.
Right.
Camera server.
But I think that there was already money in the budget for that. I don't know that it needs to be increased. I don't think that's an addition. Cause it seems like that's all that gets paid out of that line is that last, but the camera license. But we can double check on all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and pull. I know I have it in my office. Pull it up.
And I don't know if y'all want to do anything with the fuel. My analysis for the sheriff comes out to about 7,100 and the oil comes out to 7,900.
I wish I could tell you how much we're gonna use, but I'm not. I am increasing rural patrolling, pushing a lot of people out into a lot of the subdivisions quite a bit.
Good.
To the point that I've actually had people call me and they're asking me why or if we've hired a lot more people, because they're seeing more cars. I'm like, well, not seeing no more cars. We have the same amount of cars, same amount of people. Just trying to keep them in the county instead of less in the city limits and things like that.
Thank you.
Working on it.
Thank you.
Say for now, leave the fuel where it's at. Are you all okay with that?
Of course.
Good.
Good. Anybody have any more questions for the sheriff? Stump the sheriff?
Good going.
Oh, keep down.
And the dispatch will probably increase. I just haven't gotten it.
Right. That yet. Okay. Judge Wysong.
Good news is not gonna seem so quick and easy.
I know, right?
Okay, I only had
Good.
one requested change, and that was to lower the $1,500 for the school fund. And that line item is no longer used. And then I am good with the two recommended changes for the interpreter and dues. So, y'all have any questions?
Can you go more in depth to take a little longer?
Please.
Talk slower.
No, my stomach's growling. No.
I know. I had a 12 o'clock appointment. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
Oops, sorry. You should have said, hey,
It's okay.
put me in,
It's
put
fine.
me in, coach.
I'll make it work.
All right. Do y'all have any questions for? Okay,
No.
thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you all.
Okay. Who else is sitting out there that wants to go back to work? Nobody.
Everybody?
Carrie had to leave.
Okay, well, let's go back to maintenance then.
Okay.
That's 516.
And let's see. There was a requested raise to the salary on the janitor at the annex. Carrie?
No, I don't think I requested that. It's been too long ago.
Janitor salary increase from 10,375 to 11,000.
All those will have to increase, but we'll be working on salaries. So
Yeah, we'll have to
be
decide
a-
all of our part-time.
Say yours?
I said, yeah, we'll have to decide all of our part-timer
Yeah. So
Right. Right.
I'm here.
With,
So if y'all could just get us like a estimate of how many hours per week they're gonna work, then we can adjust the budget based on the new rates.
If you all want to move up to what amount, up to that 16.
right.
Let's see what we.
Janitor supplies, library and border. Did we lower that?
We
Increase
raised
that.
it because we didn't have a janitor
Increase that.
6 months and
Okay, so we increased
Probably.
that.
probably gonna have to buy a machine or two to aid in there.
What about the annex, Stinnett Annex? Ben, you took all the money out of that.
We took the money.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we did like,
Oh.
we took the money out because it wasn't being used, and so I thought maybe we could zero it out until.
and really the,
Until we actually move in there and
you're
actually,
talking about the janitorial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need that in there this year, because time we got all this fixed, it's gonna be
next year.
next year.
Okay, all right.
We got a long ways to go.
And then on the annex maintenance and equipment, there's an increase of $5,000. But we haven't really even been using the original 15,000.
Which one you on, annex or courthouse?
The annex.
45.
Yeah. Did you have a specific request for that, Gary?
It was for what now?
It's for the maintenance and equipment at the annex.
Yeah, yeah, because I've got some projects that I promised last year. Couldn't do it because of the situation. We need some new flooring in the adult probation, and then we've also got a carport that's about to fall down, and there's 2 cars underneath it. It sways in the wind. It needs, and what we plan on doing is just reinforcing it.
I thought we put new flooring down in that juvenile.
No, not in the rooms.
Oh, just in the hallway.
Got carpet in the rooms.
Right, okay,
With the carbon black plant.
right. Okay, got you.
No,
They might be able to do it this year.
Can they get any of that out of this year's budget?
5,000.
well,
We've got
I told them to hold off.
5,000,
41.
right,
Yeah,
left in this year's. Well, you might get some quotes and see how much it's gonna cost.
yeah. We've gotten quotes on the carport already. And the flooring, I've just asked them to hold off till after October. So,
Okay,
What was the carport quote?
yeah, I've already got
What
it.
was it?
Yeah, it was, I didn't bring that with me. I think it was around $1,000.
We could get that one.
yeah,
But
at least we could get that one out of this year's budget.
there's been little incidentals like signs and different things that we needed to put up after we did the work in the annex. So I didn't want to take any chances of running it too low.
Just think we have to hold ourselves fire to them on the what ifs.
What about the capital improvements?
Yeah, I probably don't need to raise that as much as I raised it. Just the 20,000 would probably be okay.
What was the recommended raise? Y'all raised it up to 68. Oh, I did.
I don't know.
Oh, because that is for 40,000 for the county portion of the possible fire mitigation grant for the generator.
Generator, yeah.
But going back to the what ifs, that could be transferred out of contingency if it goes through.
I mean, it's looking pretty good right now, right? But
I haven't heard anything beyond.
the last time,
Forward.
right. We got word that it moved forward, which is more than we've ever got. So,
So that's what that 4,000 is. So how y'all want to deal with that is.
yeah, that is a what if. Could take that back out.
To keep it 20.
If we get it, yeah, keep it at 20.
Yeah, I could be fine.
And this goes back to contingency and whether it's a what if or not. I feel like from an accounting standpoint that the capital improvement needs to be for planned projects, like, you're gonna replace a roof or
Or the air conditioning or whatever, yeah.
generator, something that's planned for. And then those, well, what if the air conditioner goes out or what if this happens? Then that goes back to the contingency. That's just my way of thinking. Just to throw it out. Because I think previously it's always been, well, we're gonna have that in there because what if? It's like, 125,000.
But we never had a contingency fund.
Nothing got used. 10,000 for the student library. For the French library didn't get used. 20,000 for student annex didn't get used. We did happen to use everything for the annex this year, but all 3 previous years, they were never used. So I just feel like that's something that if you're gonna have a project, you want to seal coat the parking lot, or you're gonna do this or that or whatever, then that's something that you budget for your capital improvements.
It's not always easy to do, just like the air conditioners. You might be able to repair those air conditioners time after time after time, and then it gets to the point where, hey, it's not worth it.
And then when
And then-
I have to replace this and I didn't plan for it, so I need to request money from the contingency fund from the county. Because that's where all of the what ifs are held, instead of having what ifs through everything.
Or you're saying, do away with the 20,000 and the
Unless you have
capital
some,
improvement
yeah.
fund.
If okay, I've got to replace this, or do these repairs, I have to do those this coming year, then you budget for that. But if a water line breaks, that's gonna be an emergency situation that.
Yeah, we could amend the budget for that.
You can do a budget amendment for. If the air conditioner goes down, I can see that being an emergency because, you don't want your employees to have heat exhaustion. Different things that the budget could be amended for rather than budgeting every year for what if, and what if never happens and you're taking the money from the taxpayers for all the what ifs that don't ever happen.
Because if you look, there's been years that we have taken nothing out of those accounts.
That's just my 2 cents.
So planning.
And that's where I lean to right now, because the time to learn how to budget and lean into the, trim the fat as much as we can is when you have 14 months of reserves or 11 months of reserves, to where you learn that fluidity instead of where we only have 3 months of reserves, you try to trim it then, and then you can't move things around. For me, that's when I'm trying to trim
We
as
put
much as we can.
$3.6 million into fund balance. And 2 million and 800,000 and 900,000. And so our fund balance is ginormous. And so unless we're going to plan and say, okay, we need a 10-year plan because we know we're gonna have to have a new jail. We want that surplus to be budgeted for so that we can move $2 million every year into a capital projects fund so that it offsets the cost in 10 years from the cost of building a new jail. There just needs to be more planning rather than what ifs.
Do you have a projection? Because this year, I mean, even in the past 3 years where we adopted in the red, knowing that we would end up in the green, we still added those. And this last year, we set one that was in the green. Do you have a projection? I didn't do the math.
I don't have a
Because
projection.
we're gonna set, I
yet
mean,
of
we're
what-
gonna have a good chunk that we're gonna put again at the end of this year, because we set a green budget.
And then I would like, when we get tax rates, and so like instead of adopting a surplus, maybe we adopt a balanced budget. Whenever we decide what rate we want to fall at, and if it comes out to a surplus, go ahead and put all of that surplus into the contingency line so that your balanced budget. And then if a what if comes up, you've got that much more in your contingency that's easy just to grab if an emergency, and you don't have to declare it as an emergency and doing a budget amendment.
Mhm.
It's still gonna be the same amount of money, you're just gonna have free access to it in.
In the
In
event
the
of an
event it
emergency,
happens.
yes.
Exactly. And if you wanna do a deficit budget, then you just do a deficit budget and you budget for whatever you feel like you need in your contingency line item.
I agree. And it also gives us chances to give them more on the benefit side of what working for the county, instead of saying, well, we don't have any money, so y'all have to pay your premium. If we can trim some of the what ifs, we can look more onto that side too. But I'm good with my maintenance on my stuff. I didn't change it.
So we'll leave all that the same.
I do think I decided on the training on 4273. I'd like to, like Gary did, I'd like to go up to 3,500 because those hotels are getting.
They are.
Do we want to change?
Everybody's to 3,500.
That's
Oh,
pretty close to what a lot of the other department heads and stuff were around,
Yes.
3,500.
Ben, are you precinct 3?
yes.
Do what?
Do you want yours raised up to 3,500?
No, I'm not using 3,500.
So leave
It's
it,
got plenty in it right now.
okay.
This is 4.
I know, I know that Dwight asked for that last year too. And we kept it the same, so Gary, are you good with 3,500?
Yeah, it'd be,
So all 3 but Ben?
Correct. Anything,
All the maintenance and equipment were good.
The courthouse has got the net annex. It depends. We have to go over this, deal for this, the net annex, that'll give you all.
yeah, we've only got $2,000 in there.
Yeah, we only got that on there.
Yeah.
But that's really all we need until we get the building.
Right.
finished.
Right.
Well, let me go down the line. So courthouse is good at 90. Annex, Gary increased to 5, so that, I mean, it increased from 15 to 20. So we're good at 20.
Are you,
Library Borgers at
Oh, we dropped
2,000.
that too.
okay, wait, go back to the annex. Gary, what do you have in mind for that? Why do we need to increase that?
the maintenance and equipment.
Yeah,
So like those projects I was telling,
that's right.
Yeah.
I think you can get that one done this year with what the funds you got left.
yeah,
So that just really.
Maybe a good idea.
New flooring,
It may blow down and
okay.
damage two cars.
Might be able to get both of them. I mean, there's no.
Yep, potentially.
One area shouldn't be 0.3.
And I mean, with the 15, it's. Well, it's gone from 15 down to 13, down to 8. And then this year we're at nearly 11. So could the flooring be done in the $15,000 budget without increasing?
You know, we never did get an estimate on that flooring that I can remember of. That was 2 years ago, so. I'll have to go back and see what that's gonna cost, because I think there's 4 offices in there that need it.
So why don't you get an estimate on that so we can get a more realistic,
Okay.
okay? Yeah.
Order library, 2,000. Rich library is at 2,000, looks like that's. And then it's done it and it's.
What about, Ben, are we gonna paint the outside of that building?
It's included in this.
Oh, okay. So capital improvement?
Yeah.
Okay,
A capital improvement for the annex, dropped it back to the 20,000.
yes.
And that goes back to how y'all feel about what I said about whether it's unplanned or what it. And then. Border library 15,
Did we raise it?
it was 15.
Oh, you took 5,000.
Yeah, because sometimes capital improvement versus maintenance equipment, I leave 17 between the two where I can just move things back up.
Okay,
Because years ago, everything
so we're at 15.
for that, yeah, leave it the same. There's always something to do there.
What about the courthouse? Ben?
Improvements, we could cut it back considerably. We didn't do much this year because we had some personnel changes and things got messed up.
Right.
But, you normally do that a little differently than what you are saying. It's like you get to the later part of the year. If we don't have major expenses, then we do just maintenance or.
Some projects.
Just projects if we have the money, but they're not critical projects. That's how we do upkeep.
Mm-hmm,
And you keep the building up.
right,
And
like we need to redo those doors.
yeah, we got a lot of things to do, but they're not critical. That if they don't get done this year, we're okay. And that's what we use that extra money for. And then if something comes up, we need it, we.
So what do you want to lower that to?
We could lower it to 50 or,
85,
huh?
85, 80?
For the capital improvement, oh, you could, yeah, 75 be plenty.
Okay, 75. All right.
Library bridge. Wow. Stinnett Annex.
The Stinnett Annex is still, I give y'all. And this is just for budgeting. This is not a bid.
Uh-huh.
This is just
Just
for budget.
budgeting numbers.
And I think reasonably close. It may be a little bit over what I said. This using a general contractor to finish the building like we talked about in the past. This including architect and engineering at about roughly 6%, which is typical. And we come to 07485. If you want a budget to do it, then you can certainly do that, but we could be cheaper doing it individual projects, but this would get it done a lot quicker. So, what's your thoughts?
Is this just to get it to be able to have somebody moved in, or is this got it with
What we
somebody
talked
in
about
mind.
before was having the ag offices move over there and then have and such and have it usable.
Okay.
This would be pretty much, well, not 100, pretty close to done.
I say we budget for it then and get it done.
But I would say to go budget for this, I think we maybe just, this is pretty close numbers, but they may be maybe a little too close.
210?
I'd say around
250?
220 roughly would probably,
Be more accurate
uh,
potentially.
there's a little what if there, but I think we need a little bit of that kind of project.
So add 100,000 to that capital improvements. And then we got 120. Oh, no, you said two. No, sorry.
Oh.
You said two.
220.
Yeah.
Let's say 220 is 220, 225.
So we're gonna have to add 200,000.
Huh?
We're gonna add 200,000 to the already 20,000 that we've got in there.
Yeah, and then also most of this will be done in-house, but those lots behind the annex, they will need to be improved. But that's mostly all, we'll do that with our own people, equipment and stuff. But there'll be a little expense in that too, but we may need a little base material or something like that we don't have. But if we did this whole entire project, I would realistically say about 225, so we should have budgeted.
Okay.
And hopefully we have a little bit left over. Including the 20. Like the architect and engineering, I just estimated that it's $12,000, which that's,
Well, we'll have leftover in the budget that would offset, I mean, even if it was a little under budgeted,
could be.
that there's enough.
I mean, I
You
think
may not use all of the courthouse capital.
we may not,
Could
we
you
may not.
offset any of your budget?
Right.
I think we'd be fine.
At 220.
225.
Let's say 225. Hopefully. And also, like if we get all this done by the end of the year and you gotta have tables, chairs, all this kind of stuff still does be bought to also.
Right.
For the meeting room and what have you. And the bids may not be exactly what this is.
Get my charger.
About to run you out of
I'm about to run out of battery.
fluid.
It's plugged
Okay.
into the
All right.
on my dad.
Is that everything on maintenance?
Done anyway.
No, we got non-departmental, that's 409. What do we have on there that,
I got with Amy and reduced the retired employees insurance down to 70,000, so that's a cut of 45,000, and then the death benefit we cut by 7,000 down to 30,000.
okay. And then we reduced state court costs to be more in line.
There's state court costs because I'm in line with them. Then the safety program, the judge and I cut another 500, reduced it to 2,000. Been about 1,500 every year. A couple of years, well, last year was 1,100. And we also reduced the health and wellness.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on that one?
Good.
Okay, we have county welfare, which is 640. And I don't think we made any changes, did we, Alicia?
That's, you know, where we have all of our nonprofits and that, yeah. Let me get over there. There it is. Child welfare will be here next meeting, but they didn't make any changes to their budget.
Oh, on the welfare, we did reduce the burial aid by 1,500.
Yes, we did. All of the rest of that stayed the same. And that is it.
Well,
No, did I miss one?
I want to get all the salary stuff done so that we can talk about it, but I didn't know what kind of raise scenarios y'all are wanting to look at. So if you could let me know, I can do multiple, like,
Yeah, sure.
kind of the same ones I've
Yeah.
always do.
How about the same ones you always give us? Know what the across the board or a percentage? Give us some options. Are y'all good with that?
43.
43, oh, the fire.
Oh, yes, we need to talk about fires. Yeah, okay, so we used to have a contract with Skellytown. But then we found out that we couldn't because they're in Carson County and they're not associated with a municipality. Is that right, Jerry? So we stopped giving them any money and Borger kind of absorbed their response area. But now,
The Emergency Services District that was just put into place in Carson County is interested in contracting for the area on the east side of the county where Skellytown was responding. And I do have interpretation from county attorney that we can do that under section 7750366.
That's through who did you say?
it's the Emergency Services
So,
Division,
so Carson.
and they're a
County-
taxing entity.
So Carson
in Carson
County,
County.
and they actually had an emergency services district voted into existence in the May election, which includes Skipleytown, Groom, and White Deer as part of their emergency service district for fire protection. Skellytown communicated with the emergency services district. They are interested in contracting the east portion of the county over there since they are closer than anybody else. So what we've done is we're looking at adding line item back in there for $15,000 to that.
For support for them. Yeah.
There is not a contract in place right now, but what we're trying to do is have the line item in place so that whenever we do have a interlocal agreement, contract, or whatever in place, we're there with it.
So are we taking that amount out of the allocated ratio to put over there? Since they're taking over that,
I don't think we ever increased Borgers when we gave it back to
we
them.
didn't increase it.
No,
No.
When was that done?
2016,
17.
17.
That amount actually went to the Crush Ranch Fire.
Oh, it went to Crutch.
Oh, yeah, they took that.
Skellytown amount went to Crush Ranch.
So did they take over all their jurisdiction or did Borger?
Wildland responsible.
Oh,
So are we gonna remove Crouch Ranch?
They're in county.
They're in the county.
yeah.
So how is that gonna be between Crouch Ranch and Carson County then, as far as the jurisdiction?
So,
So we used to pay Skellytown 15.
correct.
And what,
It's come out in that area, but I've never seen Crutch Ranch out there unless they have a big fire or something.
well, they just do wildland.
How are you incorporating all this together now with, how you gonna do this?
So what the plan is to actually go back and look and see what the area was with.
The
previous
response area.
Response areas. And tie that back in just the same way that we had it before.
So we're gonna take Crutch out of it though? Is that?
No, they have a response area.
Their Crutch's response area is basically the entire county.
Well, what I'm saying is,
They're just wildland, so.
yeah, but we added to theirs to add from the Skellytown.
What were they getting paid before? Do we know?
Who?
Crutch.
Crutch was getting 5,000
Yeah,
originally. Crutch was getting 5,000 and we increased it to 11, I believe.
Yeah, it was 10 originally, and then we moved it up to 11. Yeah.
We kind of talk about that more once we get the overlay or whatever.
Yeah, we just, if we're gonna do it, we need to get it in the budget by budget time.
Yep.
So I guess,
Can we take off that 1,500 for the fire calls other that never gets used?
that was for responses, right, Jerry?
Yeah, I think so.
To, we've never used it. I think we could. It was basically for, like, if Rich couldn't respond and had to call out Borger to respond, then they were supposed to, like, bill for that.
But they don't.
We've never used any of it.
It was the responsibility of the agency or the organization to bill.
Mhm.
It would go back to the county to do that, but that was when we were having some issues that.
With actual response.
Departments that they couldn't, wasn't anybody around during the day, so then say Stinnett would respond automatically, and then even though it was Fritz's say response area. Stinnett would respond, and then they had the ability to bill the county because it wasn't their response area, but they went ahead and went out and took care of it. But nobody's ever billed the county. It's
Yes,
in the
that's
contract,
kind of-
but nobody's billed the county.
It kind of works both ways and every.
Well, we'll just be quiet about that. Yeah. So what do y'all want to see? You want to see response areas? Is that what y'all want to see? Chris?
Oh yeah, I mean, with the contract, I want to kind of see where, I mean, if we're gonna pay people to have jurisdiction, we kind of
Where their response areas are?
justify who's getting what, and that way it's all taken care of. Yeah. Because obviously, I mean, we gotta have the best coverage with the best dollars, especially after this rainy year. It's gonna be fun next year.
I think one of the big keys with this one is going to be the notification for Skellytown to respond. Because they do not operate on the 700 megahertz frequency, and that dispatch will have to go back through Carson County to get them dispatched.
So is that gonna work out
It's,
okay, or?
it's something that we'll have to work. They've had a couple of incidences since the first of this year that they've actually been dispatched and Border has not been, and it has been in Hutchinson County. The calls have actually gone to Carson County instead of to Hutchinson.
Where were they dispatched to? Like what area, do you know?
County Road
Like out
X and
on
25.
that side of so that side of the county?
Yes.
Yeah, 1059, that area too.
And then that, I mean, our dispatch just calls their dispatch and gets it done.
No, the calls were actually going to Carson County.
But if
If
we're going to, then
yes.
our dispatch is
They
going.
just, I mean, it's a pretty quick reroute of.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, well, y'all keep that in your head. We will discuss that some more at the next budget meeting. Okay, anything else, Leisha? Anybody? What,
We're in the zone. Let's just keep going.
what else can we discuss?
Let's do all day.
The next bid.
I have a meeting at 2.
A lot, I'll have the salaries all plugged in. All the changes, revenue stuff, because we did get certified values and the city all kind of.
Yeah, I sent that out to everybody, so they all have it.
But as soon as I get one, instead of waiting until the next meeting, I'll go ahead and send y'all a copy. So
We can be
y'all
looking at
start
it.
be looking at.
Because I think next meeting
Eleven.
is, yeah, we have to, do the proposed tax rate,
Post budget.
Yeah. proposed budget. So, okay. Thing further. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion and second, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. 1:25. Thank you, y'all.